Hello, second grade. We have a plan. We are in the kitchen. We have a bottle of mouse maker with 500 doses. It is time to give those witches a taste of their own medicine. I can't wait to see how this chapter plays out. Watch and enjoy. I noticed that high up near the ceiling, above the side bench, there was a long shelf crammed with saucepans and frying pans. If I can somehow clamber up onto that shelf, I thought, then I've got it made. I shall be directly above the silver basin. But first I must somehow get across to the other side of the kitchen and then up onto the middle shelf. A great idea came to me. Once again I jumped up and hooked my tail around the handle of the garbage bin. Then, hanging upside down, I began to swing. Higher and higher I swung. I was remembering the trapeze artist in the circus I had seen last Easter, and the way he had got the trapeze swinging higher and higher and higher, and had then let go and gone flying through the air. So, just at the right moment, at the top of my swing, I let go with my tail and went soaring clear across the kitchen, and made a perfect landing on the middle shelf. By golly, I thought, what marvelous things a mouse can do, and I'm only a beginner. No one had seen me. They were all far too busy with their pots and pans. From the middle shelf I somehow managed to shinny up a little water pipe in the corner, and in no time at all I was up on the very top shelf just under the ceiling, among all the saucepans and the frying pans. I knew that no one could possibly see me up there. It was a superposition, and I began working my way along the shelf until I was directly above the big empty silver basin they were going to pour the soup into. I put down my bottle, I unscrewed the top and crept to the edge of the shelf and quickly poured what was in it straight into the silver basin below. The next moment, one of the cooks came along with a gigantic saucepan of steaming green soup and poured the whole lot into the silver basin. He put the lid on the basin and shouted, "Soup for the big party, all ready to go out." Then a waiter arrived and carried the silver basin away. I had done it. Even if I never get back alive to my grandmother, the witches were still going to get the mouse maker. I left the empty bottle behind a large saucepan and began working my way back along the top shelf. It was much easier to move about without the bottle. I began using my tail more and more. I swung from the handle of one saucepan to the handle of another, all the way along the top shelf, while far below me cooks and waiters were all bustling about, and kettles were steaming, and pans were spluttering, and pots were boiling, and I thought to myself, oh boy, this is the life. What fun it is to be a mouse doing an exciting job like this. I kept right on swinging. I swung most marvelously from handle to handle, and I was enjoying myself so much that I completely forgot I was in full view of anyone in the kitchen who might happen to glance upwards. What came next happened so quickly, I had no time to save myself. I heard a man's voice yelling, "A mouse! Look at that dirty little mouse!" And I caught a glimpse below me of a white-coated figure in a tall white hat, and then there was a flash of steel as the carving knife whizzed through the air, and there was a shoot of pain at the end of my tail, and suddenly I was falling, and falling head first towards the floor. Even as I fell, I knew just what had happened. I knew that the tip of my tail had been cut off and that I was about to crash onto the floor, and everyone in the kitchen would be after me. "A mouse!" they were shouting. "A mouse! A mouse! Catch it quick!" I hit the floor and jumped up and ran for my life. All around me there were big black boots going stamp, 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 and I dodged around them and ran and ran and ran, twisting and turning and dodging and swerving across the kitchen floor. "Get it!" they were shouting. "Kill it! Stamp on it!" The whole floor seemed to be full of black boots stamping away at me, and I dodged and swerved and twisted and turned, and then in sheer desperation, hardly knowing what I was doing, wanting only a place to hide, I ran up the trouser leg of one of the cooks and clung to his sock. Trouser would be pant leg. "Hey!" the cook shouted. "Jeepers creepers, he's gone up my trousers! Hold on, boys, I'll get him this time." The man's hands began slapping at the trouser leg, and now I really was going to get smashed if I didn't move quickly. There was only one way to go, and that was up. I dug my little claws into the hairy skin of the man's leg and scuttled upwards, higher and higher, past the calf and past the knee and onto the thigh. "Holy smoke!" the man was yelling. "It's going all the way up! It's going right up my leg!" I heard shrieks of laughter coming from the other cooks, but I can promise you I wasn't laughing myself. I was running for my life. The man's hands were slap, slap, slapping all around me, and he was jumping up and down as though he was standing on hot bricks. And I kept climbing, and I kept dodging, and very soon I reached the very top of the trouser leg, and there was nowhere else to go. "Help, help, help!" the man was screaming. "It's in my knickers! It's running around in my flaming knickers! Get it out! Someone help me! Get it out!" "Well, take off your trousers, you silly slob!" someone else shouted. "Pull down your pants and we'll soon catch him." I was in the middle of the man's trousers now, in the place where the two trouser legs meet, and the zip begins. Wow. Once again, things are not going well for our character. If it's not one thing, it's something else. That's the theme of this book, that it's just not safe for a kid, not safe for a mouse in this world, obviously. Good news, we've got the mouse maker into the soup. The soup is going out to the witches. Thumbs up on that. Way to go. Bad news, he's been spotted by the wait staff and by the cooks and the chefs, and it seems like the tip of his tail has been chopped off, and his only way to safety is to crawl up somebody's pants to hide. I don't know if that's a good move or a bad move. We'll have to tune in to the next episode to find out. See you then.